On the tensions on the Korean Peninsula, there's been more rhetoric from the DPRK side, and where the story is really moving, we can speak to our correspondent Roee Ruttenberg, who's joining us live from Seoul. First of all, before I get to the rhetoric bit and how it seems like business as usual from Pyongyang, I want to talk a little bit about this U.S. military chopper that went down on the border between South Korea and the north. Do we have any further details?
Yes, that chopper, it was it's called a Marine Super Stallion CH-53E. It was just one of 5 choppers based in Okinawa, Japan, that was taking part in a joint U.S. ROK drill called Foul Eagle. It crashed early this afternoon here, Korea time. There were 21 people on board, 16 of them American personnel. They all managed to escape the chopper before it caught fire. They were evacuated to hospitals, some of them here in Seoul. 15 of them were released immediately. 6 of them are still being looked at right now in stable condition. This was part of the U.S.'s forces in Korea. They said they'll launch a full investigation. Now, the helicopters were completing a 3-hour exercise along with the other 5 choppers when they said the USFK says that they were making a hard landing in a place near the border called Chewan. They were trying to land at a military unit there, a ground unit there. Again, no casualties here. That's about 100 kilometers north of Seoul. But again, it's these very drills, the reason this is connected, that have angered the DPRK in the first place. They're upset that South Korea and the U.S. are engaging in those drills in the first place.
And for weeks now, through to Monday, which was the birth anniversary of the DPRK's founder Kim Il-sung, we heard rhetoric from Pyongyang, and there was a sense of something's got to give, something's got to happen. There's got to be some big event, either a missile test or a nuclear device test by Pyongyang. Nothing happened. Monday has come and gone. A day after that, the rhetoric is still coming from the DPRK. Where is the story moving for our viewers to try and understand where it's moving from here on? We're seeing sort of olive branches, if you will, both from Seoul and from Washington.
Well, it depends who you ask. There was actually on Tuesday a bit of a confusion, Tuesday and Monday, over what position the Republic of Korea is taking. The unification minister, the prime minister, and the president sort of issuing different statements about whether Seoul is offering talks or offering the concept of talks. President Park issuing a very clear statement that's saying this is an offer for talks, saying reinforcing the position that there should be one voice coming out of here. Now, we saw another act today by the Republic of Korea, which is the expansion of the budget. The general budget was increased $15 billion. Part of that $200 million earmarked specifically for an increase in the defense. We know this from a press release from the Ministry of Defense. That'll be used for a number of increased tactics and preparedness for dealing with the DPRK. That money will be spent on what's called K9 self-propelled howitzers, which are sort of land cannons for possible ground activity, additional shelters in the northwest border islands that are close to the DPRK, reinforcement surveillance for the frontline troops, the development of indigenous sort of drones, mid-altitude drones are known as MUAVs, additional money spent on chemical warfare protection supplies, and some additional money spent on guided ship-to-ship missiles. So this actually adds to what is the largest South Korean budget since 2009, an indication that the South is preparing for what they don't know. They've seen the missiles. They're moved to the East Coast in the DPRK. Officials in South Korea saying they weren't expecting a launch to happen on the anniversary of the North Korean, the DPRK's founder, but it could happen. They said at any time. They're prepared for a surgical attack, what's called a blitz, if you will, from the north. There are other dates that are coming up, including the South Korean president's visit to Washington due in early May. There's a number of potential targets, and the DPRK has made it very clear that they want antagonism, what they've called, from the South to stop before there's even any consideration of discussions.
All right, we'll wait and see if that happens, as we have for the last, I think, 3 to 4 weeks now. We've been following this rhetoric coming out of Pyongyang. Roee Ruttenberg there, our correspondent in Seoul.